I get the feeling that what I'm going to talk about in this video today may actually be unpopular with quite a lot of the people watching, at least when I first say what I'm about to say. All I ask is you try and watch the video to the end, or at least as long as you can stand me droning on and on and on, right? Because I've fallen into the trap that I'm going to talk about today many times, and it sort of became counterproductive. I want to talk today about self-help and the motivation to improve one's life. More specifically, I want to talk about sort of the videos and the people here on YouTube who perpetuate this sort of self-help advice, this life improvement advice, and why I feel that quite often watching these videos and consuming this content can be counterproductive. And yes, I do understand the irony of me talking about this, all right? Firstly, as always, just want to say hi, hope you're keeping safe, hope you're keeping sane. Thank you for clicking on the video. There will be a Patreon link in the description below if you wish to support me in that way. It's very much appreciated. If you don't and you think the content's interesting, then just like, subscribe and do all that great YouTubery stuff, right? It'd be much appreciated. Now, the temptation is when we find ourselves at a bit of a low point in our lives, either at a sort of catastrophic low point off the back of an addiction, such as gambling addiction or alcohol or whatever, or just at a point in our lives where we feel like we're stuck in a rut and engaged in the same sort of negative or at least unproductive habits day after day after day. There is a temptation, and I've done this many times, of seeking out these sort of motivational self-help kind of people. I'm talking about the Jordan Petersons, Chris Williamsons, Goggins, and who's the big bloke who stands up on stage and shouts at people. Can't remember his name off the top of my head. I'm sure one of you will tell me in the comments. But you consume this content on YouTube and it has an instant impact, doesn't it? I challenge you to watch one of these motivational people and hear them talk about how you can improve your life using a simple step of, steps, and do this and suddenly the world's your oyster and you've got the world at your feet and everything's going to come up rosy, right? I challenge you to watch one of those videos and not feel immediately uplifted, immediately enthused, and maybe you feel the desire to take immediate action on what you've heard in order to take steps to improve your life. Obviously, I speak a lot about gambling addiction, and I do speak about how when you feel motivated either in a positive way, yes, I want to do something better with my life, or in a negative way, oh my God, I've just screwed up, I've just lost my week or month's wages and I've just had a big argument with the missus. Whether or not you've got positive energy or negative energy, I do talk about how you can sometimes embrace that and harness that and use it to take steps, proactive steps of course, not just psychological ones, to preventing yourself from causing yourself further harm in the future when other urges arise. Now, I've spoken about that a bit, and there is certainly value in that. So I'm not saying that self-help and motivational speak Tony Robbins. That's the guy, Tony Robbins. Sorry, you can delete that comment now. So you watch Tony Robbins, right? I'm going to use him as an example now. You watch Tony Robbins and he stands on stage and he yells at people and tells everyone that everything's going to be okay. And have you ever felt down? Have you ever felt like this? Have you ever felt like you're stuck in a rut? Well, do this. Look in the mirror. Tell yourself this. Positive affirmation. And everything's going to be wonderful, right? And actually, amongst all this sort of namby-pamby, slightly sort of airy-fairy stuff, there is sometimes actually some quite good advice in there. Are some quite good ways of managing, tips to manage your life or, improve your productivity or whatever. So I'm going to use a bit of a weird term here. But I think sometimes you can walk away from watching these videos with a bit of a motivation boner, right? You can come away from them going, this is amazing. My life is, my own. I can set myself on whatever path I choose and achieve whatever I want to achieve. And that's a great mindset. It's very good to be positive because it does ultimately improve your productivity and what have you. Okay. However, if you are stuck in a rut, be that just, like I say, day-to-day drudgery, monotony, a job you don't like, maybe a partner that's doing your head in, okay, mixing with people who aren't necessarily beneficial to you, whatever it is, just a day-to-day monotonous drudgery of life, okay, and we all go through periods of this in a time on this earth, okay. If you're stuck in one of those, then, or if you're stuck in something far more serious, such as I speak about all the time, a gambling addiction, it's great to have this instant burst of motivational energy, this motivation boner, so to speak. And it does drive you to act on it immediately. Short-term, immediate action that can help improve your life for the foreseeable future. But here lies the problem, you see. And I'm going to continue with the gambling analogy, okay? But this does apply to other addictions and also, like I say, just to bad habits in general. Recovery from addiction is not an instant thing. So you have this instant set of motivation, this instant level of motivation. So you may go out and take action on whatever it is, but you're not going to see instant results. Now, this is the bit that people might find a little bit unpalatable. It's not necessarily what you might want to hear, and it might make me unpopular. It might make this video unpopular, But self-improvement isn't a quick thing. It's not an overnight thing. It's literally day after day doing less of the negative things, less of the things that have a negative impact on your life, and more of the things that have a positive impact on your life. And it could take days, weeks, months, years before you see any notable improvement because of these changes in your habits. I stopped drinking and I started going to the gym and all this stuff that I talk about on my channel, right? Let's not bore you with all the same old crap, right? But I made a decision to change my habits. Drinking's only been a couple of weeks, gambling obviously been far, far longer, and I've been going to the gym for a few months, right? I didn't see any improvement overnight. It took constant day after day repetition of forcing myself to do more positive things and less negative things before I even started to see any form of personal improvement, any benefits both psychologically or physically to my change in behaviours. That is the underlying issue with Tony Robbins and all the rest. I'm not picking on him personally, I'm just delighted that I remembered his name. Is that yes, watching self-help videos and observing and gorging on self-help content can make you feel highly motivated for a short period of time. But anything worth doing, any real improvements in your life, any move away from negative habits and addictions and building new positive habits in your life isn't an overnight thing. It's not that instantaneous hit of self-improvement dopamine. It's a long process, and we're led to believe that through these people, because it gets clicks and because it sells seminars and all the rest of it, we're led to believe that we can see improvements overnight. We can start to change our mindset instantly. We can start to set ourselves on the right path instantly. But that path is, in many cases, very, very long. We have to learn to do these things day after day. Like I say, more of the good stuff, less of the bad stuff repeated. That's all it is. More of the good stuff, less of the bad stuff, just repeated day after day after day. And in my experience, and again, I'm not speaking from a position of a high horse, I'm not telling you how to live your life, and I'm not saying by any stretch that I'm the finished article, because I've got miles to go in so many respects, right? But eventually, once you start to see the benefits, once you start to reap the rewards of your efforts, and in the early stages they will be forced, then you will start to maybe enjoy the process a bit more. People talk about falling in love with the process. I can't say I've honestly fallen in love with the process of sobriety, and I can't say I've honestly fallen in love with the process of the gym, but I now enjoy being at the gym. I enjoy the sensation of having been to the gym. I enjoy the sensation of getting to the end of the day completely sober and being able to go to bed and sleep properly. I am enjoying the process of the improvements. The improvements themselves are not overnight achievable. They may never be achievable because some of them are incalculable. They're unmeasurable. They're not, you can't attach a metric to improved mental health. You can't technically attach a metric to improved physical health. Yes, you might be able to see some weight goals or whatever, but some of them are a bit pointless. All right. So if, like me, you fall into the trap of, taking on this self-help content, then a few days later realizing that you're in no better position, in fact maybe you even feel worse about yourself, and then going back to your old ways, then just understand that, for me at least, it's not been a case of making rash decisions or suddenly making these instant overnight improvements. It's just been more of the good stuff, less of the bad stuff repeated day after day. I hope that message came across. I didn't script the video, so if I've sort of meandered on a little bit, my apologies. Hope you're keeping safe, hope you're keeping sane, and please don't think I'm ever telling people what to do or preaching, because, like I say, I'm a million miles from the finished article, and I doubt I'll ever be one. But just want to share what I found in life has been, on the surface, feels very constructive, feels very motivational, but underneath may actually do you some harm. Like I say, there's a Patreon link in the description below. I'll continue to plug it. There'll be additional content on there, additional videos. If you DM me through Patreon, I'll always do my best to get back to you, so that's probably the best way you can contact me. But like I say, thank you to everyone who supports me that way. But if you don't want to support me that way, that's absolutely cool. Just watch the videos, subscribe, like, comment, share, do all that sort of great YouTube-y stuff, and that will be very, very much appreciated. Until next time, take it easy. and I shall speak to you all again soon, guys. Thanks very much.